I've been making book videos for 10 years now, which means I've grown a rather large physical TBR. Recently, I went through a bookshelf purge and only kept the books that I'm the most excited to read. I am convinced that my next favorite book is waiting for me somewhere on my shelves. I've set myself a challenge to read my entire physical TBR in 1 year. We are starting with 250 books, and by the end, I hope to be down to 0. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you guys have been following along with my TBR tackle series, I am trying to read every single book that is on my physical TBR in the next year. And I've gotten some questions from people asking if I could actually show you what all of the books on this shelf are. So that is what we're gonna be doing today. I'm gonna take you through my entire TBR shelf and show you what all of the books are that I will be reading throughout this whole video series. I'm not sure what the exact number is currently in time of when you guys are seeing this video. I believe there's somewhere around 220 books on here as of right now. I am in the midst of a new episode of TBR Tackle, so the number might differ a little bit, but we are in the 220 range right now, which I understand is a lot of books. As you're watching this video, what I would love it if you could do is if you see any book titles from this shelf that you are dying for me to read, leave the title in the comments below, because in a future episode of TBR Tackle, I'm gonna be reading the books that you guys comment the most. Make sure if you see anything as we're going through to leave the titles in the comments, and I will potentially be reading some of your picks in a future episode. So we are just going to get right into it. I will say the way that I have organized this shelf is a little messy. I have organized them into little random categories, so really it only makes sense to me and in my brain, and that's really all that matters. So we're gonna start at the top, this shelf up here, which, you know, I'm really giving away how short I am. This top shelf are all next books in series that I am currently in the middle of, so I will just quickly run through these. We have 10,000 Stitches by Olivia Atwater, Waking Gods by Sylvia Neuville, Jade War by Fonda Lee, Rise of Empire by Michael J. Sullivan, The Ikisar Falcon by K.S. Veloso, The Broken Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin, The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin, Secrets in the Dark by Darcy Coates, Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig, The Dragons of Nova by Elise Kova, Fevered Star by Rebecca Roanhorse, The Second Rebel by Lyndon A. Lewis, Untouchable by Talia Hibbert, Feast of Sparks by Sierra Simone, The Architect by Nikki Sloan, Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher, Redemptor by Jordan E. Fueco, The Inadequate Heir by Danielle L. Jensen, A Treacherous Trade by Kerrigan Byrne, Don't Fear the Reaper by Stephen Graham Jones, The Man Who Died Twice by Richard Osman, Scarred by Emily McIntyre, The Company of Fiends by Catherine Moon, Royally Endowed by Emma Chase, The Archive of Forgotten by A.J. Hackworth, Phantom Pains, Powerless by Elsie Silver, Heroine Worship by Sarah Kahn, Ever After Always by Chloe Lees, Dragon Shadow by L. Catherine White, The Book of Edda by Meg Ellison, Saint by Sierra Simone, A Close and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers, and Mercy by Sarah Kate. This next shelf we have from this area over to like here. These are all authors that I have given 5 stars. So we have Fool Me Once by Ashley Winstead, Work For It by Talia Hibbert, This Delicious Death by Kayla Conningham, The Ghost Tree and Horseman by Christina Henry, His Majesty's Dragon by Naomi Novik, Hammers on Bone by Cassandra Kaw, To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers, The Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel, Culty by Mariana Zapata, The Undying King by Grace Draven, and actually I'm gonna take this off, this Half Price Books sticker. I always forget to take these off. The Narrow by Kate Alice Marshall, Wolf Song by TJ Klune, The Violence by Delilah S. Dawson, Temper by Lane Fargo, Evocation by S.T. Gibson, The Noose Flesh Trilogy by Mira Grant. This is actually 3 books, but for the purposes of TBR Tackle, I'm only counting it as 1. Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Raybourn, In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune, A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen, and The All-Consuming World by Cassandra Kaw. So that is a very random mix of books just because it's all authors that I have loved in the past. This next little section right here are books that I believe have unhinged, murderous female main characters. I could be wrong because I have not read them, but that is the vibe that they give me. So we have Madalena and the Dark, All's Well by Mona Awad, In the Garden of Spite by Camilla Bruce, Boy Parts by Eliza Clark, After the Forest by Kel Woods, and Star Eater by Kirsten Hall. And then this last little section down here of 3 books, and these are all books that I put on my top books that I wanted to read this year. So we have The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield, Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, and The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. So those were on my 2024 TBR. I just want to point out some standouts. The shelf that I'm really interested in. This one, After the Forest, is a Hans and Gretel retelling where Hans and Gretel are grown up and Gretel has sort of been seduced by this magic book. In the Garden of Spite, this is about the first female serial killers of a certain age. This one is following a group of elderly women who were all once assassins and now they've retired, but they're being pulled back into the game. Before we move on to the next one, I want you guys look at me for a minute, okay? I'm gonna stand here, scan me, examine. Do you notice anything different? Do you notice anything different? Anything different? If you guessed my beautiful new jewelry, you would be correct. My jewelry today is all from Ana Luisa, who is sponsoring today's video. Ana Luisa's jewelry quality is unmatched. Their pieces are designed to be long-lasting and tarnish resistant. And the best part, their jewelry starts at just $39. So you do not have to break the bank to look fabulous. They're also very committed to sustainability. They are a carbon neutral and climate neutral certified brand, which means that they off-print 100% of their carbon footprint. You can be assured that the jewelry you're wearing is great for the planet. They offer free and fast shipping in the US, and their worldwide shipping is super affordable. Plus, they have free exchanges and a 2-year warranty. I really love their pieces. I am a big fan of just kind of minimal, simple jewelry that is very beautiful and will last a long time. So the pieces that I'm wearing right now, I have this beautiful necklace that has all of these little flowers on it, and they go perfectly with my dress right now. That was actually completely unintentional. And then the earrings that I have on today are little dangly hearts that say good karma. Now, did I get these because they were giving me Taylor Swift vibes? Yes, in fact I did. I also got these really beautiful studs that are kind of like crossed X's, and I just feel like they look really cool on. I really love all of these pieces so much. They just feel like such great quality and they are beautiful. So if you would like to get 30% off your order of Ana Luisa, you can use my link in the description and you can check out their website to see all of the beautiful jewelry that they have to offer. So moving down to this shelf right here, this whole section here from this book and then this stack, these are all Sapphic books. So they're all books that either have main characters that are Sapphic or they have a Sapphic romance, relationship. These are kind of the books that I would like to read the most. So if you want to comment any of these titles, y'all know what to do. Tell Me How It Ends by Quentin Lee. Serpentine Valentine by Gianna Darling. This Gilded Abyss by Rebecca Thorne. Kiss Her Once for Me by Allison Cochran. The Ruthless Lady's Guide to Wizardry by C.M. Wagoner. Ooh, let's get some sticker pulling ASMR. A Game of Hearts and Heists by Ruby Rowe. Alice Payne Arrives by Kate Hartfield. Devon and Chris Plan a Wedding by Seneca C. Higgins. Bitterthorn by Kat Dunn. Chlorine by Jade Song. Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John Winsell. Briefly a Delicious Life by Nell Stevens. Requiem for Immortals by Lee Winters. When We Lost Our Heads by Heather O'Neill. Feybound by Sarah Ella Rifi. And then Our Hideous Progeny by C.E. McGill. So those are all of these Sapphic books that I have. There might be some more in other categories, but if they didn't fit into another section, I put them here. Okay, so the next section that I have is probably my second favorite section after Sapphic, and that is vampires. So all of these books here have vampires in them. We have The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova, Lore and Lust by Carla Nicole, Scarlet by Genevieve Cogban, Blood Countess by Lana Popovic, A Long Time Dead by Samara Berger, and Serpent in the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. So those are all of my little vampire books. Then I have this little section of classics. I have The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, Perfume by Patrick Suskind, and Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Okay, then I have two nonfiction books. These are my only ones. They're both on disabilities. So we have Disability Visibility by Alice Wong, and then Disfigured by Amanda Leduc. I have one lone little poetry collection. This is The Honey Month by Amal El Motar. It's a collection of poems, all inspired by different types of honey. And then this last section here are all books that were translated from other languages into English. So I have The Memory Theater by Karen Tidbeck, The Root of Ice and Salt by Jose Luis Zarte. This is also a vampire book, but I put it with my translated stuff. Lonely Castle in the Mirror, and A Winter's Promise. Also, by accident, they all kind of go together because they're all blue books. So I think from this shelf, some of these standout ones that I really want to read are Lonely Castle in the Mirror. This is about a group of children who go into this portal that takes them to like this magical castle, but then they're trapped there. It sounds really cool. The Bloody Chamber. This is a collection of short, dark stories based on like fairy tales. Also, Requiem for Immortals. This one is like a romance about this woman who is an assassin and she's hired to kill another woman, but she meets her and she's like, I don't want to kill her, I want to kiss her. Moving on to this next shelf down here. This section right here are all historical books. So I have The Witch's Heart by Genevieve Gorgachek, The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker, Cinnamon and Gunpowder by Eli Brown, The Lost Queen by Signe Pike, The Corset by Laura Purcell, and The Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. So that is my little section of historical books. This next section here are just kind of like random fantasy books that didn't really fit in other places. We have The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sulin Tan. Ooh, let's get another. Oh, so perfect. Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross, The Servant Mage by Kate Elliott, Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, The Lies of Locke Lamore by Scott Lynch, The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reed, Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames, The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman, The Goblin Emperor by Catherine Addison, For the Wolf by Hannah Witten, A Taste of Gold and Iron by Alexandra Rowland. Okay, and then this last little section down here are all like cozy fantasies slash a few cozy mysteries. So another one of my little favorite sections. We have A Most Agreeable Murder by Julia Seals, Till Death Do Us Barred by Rose Black, The Murder of Mr. Wickham by Claudia Gray, The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels by India Holton, A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic by Jay Penner, The Fairy Bargains of Prospect Hill by Rowena Miller, Mrs. Percy's Pocket Guide to the Care and Feeding of British Dragons by Quenby Olson, The Beautiful Ones by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, Some Kind of Happiness by Claire Legrand, Keeper of Enchanted Rooms by Charlie N. Holmberg, The Thorn Remains by Gia Harwood, Can't Spell Treason Without Tea by Rebecca Thorne, and Stardust by Neil Gaiman. So that was this whole shelf. Some standouts on here that I really want to read are A Most Agreeable Murder. This is a like Regency, kind of like Jane Austen meets murder mystery. The City of Brass. This is one that I've had for so long and I've always really wanted to read. I know that this is a series that people really love. Cinnamon and Gunpowder by Eli Brown. This one, it sounds really good. It's about this female pirate who kidnaps a chef and forces him to cook for her and her whole crew, or she'll kill him. But then I believe they might fall in love. I don't know, it sounds really good. Also, Can't Spell Treason Without Tea. I've been wanting to read this for so long because it compared a lot to Legends and Lattes. This next shelf here are all romances. This is just a whole shelf of all of the romances that I have to read that aren't next books in a series that I've already started. We have Battle Royale by Lucy Parker, The Princess Trap by Talia Hibbert, When Heroes Fall by Gianna Darling, To Have and to Hoax by Martha Waters, The King of Wrath by Anna Huang, Ringmaster by Brianna Hale, Games with the Orc by Catherine Moon, By a Thread by Lucy Score, Someday Someday by Emma Scott, 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, Love on the Brain by Allie Hazelwood, Parallel by Elizabeth O'Rourke, Heartbreak Warfare by Heather Oregon, Deal with the Elf King by Elise Kova, Heart of the Fae by Emma Hamm, The Kingmaker by Kennedy Ryan, The Fallen World series by Laura Thalassa. This, I believe, is a whole trilogy, but again, I'm only counting it as one. Real by Kennedy Ryan, Restore Me by J.L. Seegers, The Air He Breathes by Brittany C. Cherry. Y'all know what's happening. We got another. Ooh, I don't know, that one's not as satisfying. That one was not as satisfying as the others. Ruthless Creatures by J.T. Geisinger, Drag Me Up by R.M. Virtues, All Things Burn by Jody Slaughter, Marriage for One by Ella Mays, The Queer Principles of Kit Webb, What We May Be by Layla Rain, A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall, Gifting Me to His Best Friend by Katie Robert, A Soul to Keep by Opal Rain, Promise of Darkness by Beck McMaster, Raiders of the Lost Heart by Joe Segura, There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark, and Funny Feelings by Tara DeWitt. So, those are all of the romances. Some standouts from this shelf that I really want to read are 7 Days in June. I've had this on my TBR for so long, and everyone says that it is amazing. Same with Real by Kennedy Ryan. I've just heard that this is incredible. This one is about like Hollywood, an actress and a director. Now, moving down to this very bottom shelf, this is all sci-fi books, and then over here is horror. So we'll start with the sci-fi side. We have Elder Race by Adrienne Tchaikovsky. Ooh, this one's really not satisfying. I'm not gonna even show you. Nope. The sticker's not coming off, I'm so sorry. Nine Fox Gambit by Yoon Ha Lee. Temper by Nikki Drayden. Children of Time, also by Adrienne Tchaikovsky. The Calculating Stars by Mary Robinette Kowal. A Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe by Alex White. Light from Uncommon Stars by Rika Aoki. A History of What Comes Next by Sylvian Nouvel. The Future of Another Timeline and Autonomous, both by Annalee Newitz. The Mad Scientist's Daughter by Cassandra Rose Clark. Polaris Rising by Jessie Milik. Time Salvager by Wesley Chu. Deal with the Devil by Kit Roca. Our Lady of the Ice by Cassandra Rose Clark. And then the last sci-fi book is Mickey 7 by Edward Ashton. Okay, so then moving over to the horror stuff. In the House in the Dark of the Woods by Laird Hunt. The Merry Spinster by Mallory Ortberg. Follow Me to the Ground by Sue Rainsford. Gone to See the Riverman by Christopher Triana. Parasite by Darcy Coates. And The Haunting of Ashburn House by Darcy Coates. Ooh, this one's gonna be good. This one's gonna be good. It Rides a Pale Horse by Andy Marino. Dark Harvest by Norman Patridge. What We Harvest by Anne Freystat. The Book of Living Secrets by Madeline Rue. Just Like Mother by Anne Heltzel. Summer Suns by Lee Mandello. Leech by Hiran Ennis. Venko by Cherie Daumeline. No Gods for Drowning by Haley Piper. The Pallbearers Club by Paul Tremblay. Children on the Hill by Jennifer Mahoon. Hour of the Witch by Chris Beaujolain. Sign Here by Claudia Lux. Krampus by Brahm. Queen of Teeth by Haley Piper. And Legacy Witches by Cass Kay. From this shelf, some of these standouts that just sound so good to me are the Pallbearers Club. I recently read my first Paul Tremblay book, which was Horror Movie, and I really enjoyed it, so it has me more excited to read this. Venko, this one is about a coven of witches. Our Lady of the Ice has always sounded so interesting to me. It's about like a future where the world has frozen over and everyone lives in this dome in Antarctica. Also, Deal with the Devil. This one is like Black Orphan meets the post-apocalyptic Avengers, which sounds really cool. I believe it's also like romance. Okay, so then lastly, I have my cart, which has some overflow books on it. These top two shelves are holding the books that I haven't yet been able to fit on the main shelf, but as I'm reading things and pulling things off, these will make their way onto the shelves. So these are all just kind of random, no really themes to them. So we have The God of Endings by Jacqueline Holland, The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel, Ink Blood, oh wait, I need to get this, here we go. Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Emma Torres. Let me put the cover on this. There we go, she's covered. 2 Juliette Marillier books. We have Daughter of the Forest and Heart's Blood. The Gracekeepers by Kirsty Logan, Lady Hotspur by Tessa Grattan, A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed, Wolf Road by Beth Lewis, The Inheritance of Orchidia Divina by Zoraida Cordova, The Thick and the Lean by Shauna Porter, The Devourers by Indra Das, Fly Away by Kathleen Jennings, God Killer by Hannah Canner, The Bone Orchard by Sarah A. Mueller, A Conspiracy of Truths by Alexandra Rowland, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong, Senlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft, The Last Son by K.D. Edwards, The Conductors by Nicole Glover, A Botanical Daughter by Noah Medlock, A Study in Scarlet Women by Sherry Thomas, Robots vs. Fairies, To Shape a Dragon's Breath by Moniquil Blackgoose, and A Strange and Stubborn Endurance by Foz Meadows. So these standouts from here that just sound really, really good to me. A Botanical Daughter, this one is like a queer Victorian kind of Frankenstein vibe, but making plant life. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, this is written as a letter from a son to his mother. I've heard it's very emotional. To Shape a Dragon's Breath, this one is a newer one to my shelves, but it is about a Dragon Academy. So those were all of the books on my physical TBR. If you would like to catch up to my TBR Tackle series, I will link the first 2 episodes down below. Episode 3 will be coming out very soon. And make sure if there were any books in this video that you saw that you really want me to read, comment them down below and I will potentially be reading them in a future episode. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and check out my Patreon where I post tons of exclusive content. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!